Walter Payton, in a class by himself, the premier running back in all of pro football.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, Fantasy Fornicator, dropping the top 12 running back rankings for 2020. These are my pre-draft rankings, so, after the draft, some things might change. One of the rookies might get in my top 12, either Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift. It just depends where they land. So, as of right now, though, let's get to it. Top 12, Saquon Barkley is my number one running back. I love him this year. I know I was telling people to fade him last year simply because of, draft capital. People were drafting him, top 3, something like that. I was telling everybody he was going to finish outside the top 10, and that's exactly what he did. He finished number 12. So Saquon Barkley, though, on the flip side, this year, I feel like he's going to make his mark. He's going to let people know there's no doubt that he is the premier running back in this game. The Giants, they added Jason Garrett as the OC, who obviously knows how to work with a superstar premier running back, such as, Zeke when he was working with Dallas Cowboys. And Saquon Barkley is definitely going to take off from this year on forward. I think he's going to dominate the NFL. He's going to dominate the fantasy landscape for years to come. Saquon Barkley, my number one running back. My number 2, CMC, man. You can't really go wrong with CMC. I could see people taking him number 1 without a doubt. The guy's a beast, over 100 receptions last year. Now, there is some changes that happen. Matt Rule's coming in, another coach, from college. He did his thing. There's another coach from LSU. His name's slipping my mind right now. Forgive me. But the guy likes to spread the offense. He likes to get his key players in open space and let them create plays, and that's where CMC specializes in. Teddy Bridgewater, that addition to the team as well, he loves to check the ball down. So CMC, somebody that still you could draft with the number 1 pick, no problem. I don't have no issues with that, but this year he will be my number 2. My next guy up, Dalvin Cook for the Minnesota Vikings, somebody I was really, really high on last year. As early as in April 2nd of last year, I was telling everybody he's going to finish top 5. He finished number 3. So I was all over Dalvin Cook with Stefanski being gone, who was the OC last year, going to Cleveland as the head coach, and now Gary Kubiak being the OC all the way. I just feel like Cook is gonna take off again. He's gonna leave his mark, let people know that he is that dude. I know he had some injuries towards the end of the year last year, but still, Dalvin Cook proved for most of the year he carried everybody to the fantasy championship game, and he could do it all, man. We've seen it. He could break. He could be one of those big plays, one play hitters. Given the ball, he could take it to the house. He could catch out of the backfield, and with Stephon Diggs being shipped to Buffalo, this just opens up more offensive looks for him. They're going to look for him a lot more often. And Dalvin Cook, yeah, man, my number 3. He finished number 3 last year. I think he's going to do it again. My number 4 is Zeke. Ezekiel Elliott from the Dallas Cowboys. The addition of McCarthy as the head coach. I like that. I feel like Dak Prescott is going to be in a nice little groove with them. Amari Cooper is going to have a great year. So is Michael Gallup, and that's just going to open things up for Zeke. Who, dude is a beast. He's definitely somebody that, some people might have him higher. I don't really see people having him much lower than 4, but he's definitely a safe pick. There's no contract to dispute, none of that stuff. Zeke is that dude. I feel really, really safe taking him number 4. Now, my number 5, I've been known with my number 5 picks to, shake the game a little bit. But stay with me. Last year, Dalvin Cook was my number 5 pick, and I was right. This year, my number 5 is going to be Kenyon Drake from the Arizona Cardinals. Kenyon Drake, man, somebody that I've been fucking with for the last 2-3 years. Adam Gase, honestly, is one of the guys that kind of ruined him over in Miami. But he ruined a lot of people in Miami. Don't forget, besides Kenyon Drake, he ruined Ryan Tannehill, who, is a success now. He also ruined Devontae Parker, who is a success now. And, obviously he ruined Kenyon Drake, and we all see what he's doing to Le'Veon Bell and everybody else with the New York Jets now. Fast forward to Kenyon Drake. being traded to the Arizona Cardinals. In 8 games, he had 8 touchdowns. He just showed great chemistry in that offense. Kingsbury, he wants to run a 4 receiver set with one back out of in the backfield, of course. And couldn't do it too much last year, but now the addition of D-Hop is going to open things up. You got to think about it. D-Hop, Larry Fitz, Christian Kirk, and possibly Andy Isabella, 4 receiver sets with Kenyon Drake working out of the backfield next to Kyler Murray, who's a dual threat quarterback. Oh man, it's going to open some things up. Kenyon Drake is the perfect running back for that offense. And that's why he signed that tender. That's why they offered it to him. That's why they traded for him last year. Kenyon Drake, my number 5 running back. PPR, dude's going to go off. Book it. My number 6 running back, Alvin Kamara, who finished number 11 last year. But, in that offense with the Saints, as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be fine. Drew Brees getting another weapon in Emmanuel Sanders. That's going to help things out. Kamara, get him in some open space. That dude's going to do some damage. We already know what he could do. My number 7 guy, Joe Mixon for the Cincinnati Bengals. And last year I was off him, but that was simply because the offensive line was banged up. They drafted a couple rookies that were they drafted a rookie. He got injured. There was like one guy that retired out of nowhere during preseason, before preseason. And, they suffered a lot of injuries on the line. But Joe Mixon will still be able to do his thing towards the second half of the year. Dude finished number 17. I got him finishing number 7 in this upcoming year, in a second year in the offense with Zach Taylor. And, with Joe Burrow, who, everybody's projecting for the Bengals to pick, I think that's only going to help him. A.J. Green, Tyler Boyd, those are some nice weapons right there. And then, Joe Mixon is going to do his thing. So, yeah, my number 7 is Joe Mixon. Number 8, let's go with Josh Jacobs from the Las Vegas. I almost said Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders. And, Josh Jacobs last year did really well. Finished 19. They didn't include him that much in a passing game. I wish they included him much more than that. And this year, supposedly, they're going to do that. We'll just see. Their general manager, Mike Mayock, said they're going to have to use him a lot more, that it was tough for him, for a rookie to be able to figure out, blitz pickups, try to, in a second year, it's going to be easier for him to pick those things up. He's going to be able to dive into the playbook, second year in the offense under John Gruden. I think he's going to be fine. Josh Jacobs, I have him as my number 8 running back. He's a workhorse. I like him. His potential is up there. He could finish top 5 if everything goes right. We'll see what that offense does with Carr at quarterback and, a couple of pieces. They do need a receiver. They need a top-end receiver. I do like Tyrell. I do like Hunter Renfrow, but they need a premier receiver. We'll see what they do in the draft. Maybe Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb possibly falls to them. And if they're one of those guys are there, I really feel like they're going to snag them. Number 9, running back, Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb finished number 8 last year. He was a workhorse. Kareem Hunt still being on the team is something that, I am kind of worried about. He's going to take touches away from him. That's going to happen. But one thing that I do like is that Stefanski, coming from the Vikings, is somebody that incorporated the run a lot. So I do see a world where Nick Chubb gets his, 14 to 18 touches per game. Chubb gets his, 8 to 12, maybe a little bit more per game. And, Hunt could possibly be a flex option on some weeks, running back 2, and Chubb could be, running back 1, on off week, running back 2. So Nick Chubb, because of volume and the offensive scheme that Stefanski is going to try to run, I think he's going to be fine. He's going to be a safe pick. The guy is a beast. We know that. He's a monster. And yeah, man, let's go with our number 10 running back, who is Austin Eckler, who I honestly, I didn't see it coming last year, man. I was 100% off on him. I really felt like Justin Jackson out of Northwestern was more of a complete back. But Eckler, honestly, just, literally just made me eat my words, bro, because dude was a monster when Melvin Gordon was gone. He finished as a number 4 running back. he was making plays all over the field. They line him up all over the formations. He'll be in the slot, he'll be outside, he'll be in the backfield, just all over the place. They use him really, really well. And he's a talented dude who could take a hit and gets up like nothing. So Austin Eckler, he is my number 10 running back coming into this year. Last year, finished number 4. Upside is there. I like him in that offense. Next guy up, Aaron Jones, number 11 for me. I know it took a long time for me to bring him up. Last year, he finished number 2. And, the thing with Aaron Jones and what concerns me is, all the noise coming out of there, with the coaching staff talking about that they want to preserve him. They want to incorporate Williams a lot more. And, they want to keep Aaron Jones fresh. And, I just, they keep talking about a dual back system. They're really, really pushing it. I still think Aaron Jones he's one of those guys that could, break a play for a touchdown. Just, he just needs one chance, one opening, and he could do that. But at the same time, with Aaron Rodgers, in charge, I really feel like they're going to try to pass the ball a little bit more than we saw last year. They're going to try to mix it up, try to be a little bit different. Aaron Jones has Williams there to worry about, who did really, really well when he was spelling him. So, yeah, Aaron Jones, I still like him. He's still a top 12, but he's somebody that I am a little worried about coming into this year. People are thinking they're getting the number 2 running back in the game like they did last year. I feel like, they're mistaken. I don't think he's going to finish around there. I think he's going to finish around the 10th spot, which, I have a number 11. Number 12, I'm going to finish it up with Derrick Henry, King Henry, somebody that gets over 300 rushing attempts per year. You cannot be mad at that. I'm not his biggest fan, but again, he is another guy that made me eat my words. Why? It just comes down to volume and game script. When you have a well-coached team in the Tennessee Titans, play great defense, they try to shut their opponents down. It makes it a lot easier to hand that ball off to King Henry. That nobody wants to tackle that guy. Dude's a monster. So Derrick Henry, I respect him. PPR formats. It's not that I'm worried about him because he gets such so much value, volume. I'm not so worried about him, but I'm the type of person I feel more comfortable with a dual threat running back. Give me an Aaron Jones, give me a Kenyon Drake, Joe Mixon, Kamara, Jake, all those guys I named before him, I feel more comfortable with. But yeah, man, these are my top 12 running backs. Again, Saquon, CMC, Dalvin Cook, Zeke, Kenyon Drake at number 5, Kamara number 6, Mixon, Josh Jacobs, Nick Chubb, Austin Eckler, Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry. Those are my top 12. Some running backs that, they're right there for me is Miles Sanders out of the Philadelphia Eagles. As of right now, I really, really like him because they didn't add anybody through free agency. We got to see what happens in the draft. If they don't add any running backs, especially early on in the draft, I think he's going to be fine. I know Boston Scott is there, but, I think he's a nice piece, complementary piece to Miles Sanders. I think Miles Sanders is the truth. He might sneak in, depending what happens on the draft, in my top 12. Another guy, Devin Singletary, same thing. No big free agency acquisition in the running back side. I really, really like that for him. We got to see what happens in the draft. Hopefully not much. And, that's another guy that could sneak in my top 12. Todd Gurley moving to Atlanta. I like it. I am worried about, his arthritis. He's somebody I've been off of for the last couple of years, and, rightfully so. Some people didn't want to, buy it, but I was all over it as far as his arthritis goes. I just hope he could, come through and have a great year for Atlanta. I really like his upside this year. And yeah, man, that's my top 12. No David Montgomery. Don't worry, guys. I'm not going to put him on my top 12 like I did last year. I know that was a major fail. So, I don't need you guys to harass me about that, It's all good. I learned my lesson. All right. I'm going to fade the Bears running backs this year. All right, y'all. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to be dropping the top 12 quarterbacks, top 12 wide receivers, and look out for the top 12 tight ends as well. So I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.